In this video, we'll look at various methods of integrating AppNeta with other systems so that you can start to think about which ones make sense for your use case. Use the integration for AppNeta SaaS and DX NetOps to send network path performance data from AppNeta to DX NetOps portal and event data to DX NetOps Spectrum OneClick. The integration allows Spectrum OneClick to generate alarms from AppNeta alerts and allows DX NetOps portal to display network path performance data in dashboards alongside performance data collected by DX NetOps. Keep an eye on the release notes for updates about the integration. There are two APIs. The AppNeta API gives you access to data collected and generated by AppNeta as well as to configure what to monitor and how. Common uses for the AppNeta API are to pull raw data into third-party dashboard tools, automate the creation of new paths, or update the configuration of existing paths in bulk, and also to watch for and push events into a third-party ops or ticketing system. Access the Swagger interface for the AppNeta API from the main settings menu. Then select Explore API. Next is the Monitoring Point Admin API, which you can use to perform and automate certain device management tasks for supported monitoring points, such as configuring additional interfaces. Many of these management tasks can also be performed from the device's Web Admin UI. Access the Monitoring Point Admin API from Web Admin by logging in to Web Admin, navigating to the Settings menu, and selecting API. The Monitoring Point Admin API will then appear. Or, to access the Monitoring Point Admin API directly, navigate to the Monitoring Point hostname or IP address /swagger/index.html. If you don't know the hostname or IP address for the monitoring point, it can be found on the Monitoring Points page in AppNeta. There are several ways you can set up notifications to let the appropriate people know about events detected by AppNeta. We can trigger email notifications about violation and clear events within delivery, experience, and usage. Admins might need to hear if a monitoring point loses connection to the AppNeta service, and teams responsible for network or web app performance may need to hear about persistent performance degradations. Another way to trigger notifications is by using SNMP. You can generate SNMP traps and informs for any violation and clear events, but only within delivery and experience. You can also trigger SNMP traps and informs when a new monitoring point is created, or if a monitoring point disconnects or reconnects to AppNeta. Finally, we also have an Observer API endpoint that you can use to proactively send event notifications to the server of your choice. AppNeta provides a mechanism to embed content in third-party systems. While the AppNeta API can be used to pull the raw performance results, we may not have access to a developer to render the data. Certain path metric charts within AppNeta can be embedded individually into third-party systems. It's as easy as copying a code snippet from AppNeta and pasting it into a third-party dashboard. The embedded charts are interactive and update live as new results are collected. To turn on the embeddable charts feature for an organization, navigate to the Settings menu, and then to the Embeddable Charts configuration page. Note the text indicating the scope of support for embeddable charts, and the acknowledgement that using embedded charts will make the data publicly accessible. Then, enable the use of embeddable charts for the entire organization, and navigate to the desired metric chart. Find the embed chart icon that looks like HTML code. The icon indicates a chart that can be embedded. Click on the embed chart icon to open a window with the embed code, and click the copy button to copy the code to the clipboard. Now we can go into our third-party dashboarding system and paste the code. The code has a few parameters. There's a JavaScript file which renders the chart, and a style sheet that can be replaced if we want to override or customize the default style sheet. This is the chart that will be rendered showing the last 60 minutes. The chart will be 220 pixels high, show these series, and will update automatically every 60,000 milliseconds, or 60 seconds. The resulting chart is interactive and updates live as new data is collected. If needed, we can change the chart parameters. For example, we may make the chart bigger, change the time range, or change the name to something more meaningful for the dashboard audience. And we didn't even need to write any lines of code. For the other parts of the product that don't support individual chart embedding, you can embed an entire user session of AppNeta into a third-party system. This is typically used by customers who want to have AppNeta up on an Operations Center screen alongside data from other tools. These dashboards are typically turned on and running 24/7. The session should not log out automatically due to user inactivity. The embeddable session option must be turned on for specific users, typically for a user with view-only permissions. To enable embeddable sessions for a user, navigate to the Settings menu. Then select Manage Users. For the desired user, navigate to the Action menu and then select Configure. Review the warning about embedding sessions. Then, enable the embeddable session login add-on permission. Click Update and confirm we understand the risks associated with embedding a session in a third-party system. Once enabled, the user is sent a notification email and can find the embed code both in the notification email and from the link in the user menu. Copy the code and paste it into the third-party web user interface. The embedded AppNeta session will not automatically log out due to user inactivity. This concludes our video demonstration of how to integrate AppNeta using various methods with other systems.